GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the station of decapitation without your head.
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Studio. That kind of froze up there for me. What? Oh, that's my fault. You're alright, don't worry. Here we go.
You all good in the hood?
We're all good in the hood. What's going on, Gorecasters? Welcome back here to another Sunday here on the GoreCast. I'm Johnny, possibly dying, and this is the Giz.
Hello. I'm not dying. Well, I am, but, slower than he is, for once.
Yes. Slower than I.
That's true.
It is it is totally true. So, this week on the GoreCast, it's a mixed match. Bit of everything.
Yeah.
First movie and the last movie kind of tying together in a weird way. It's a bit body horror-ish.
Yeah,
and it's,
actually, yeah, okay.
the transformation scene is relatively graphic enough. I think it slots into the body horror. Not full blown, but it's more of a scene than a full movie of it. But yeah. Other than that, a bit of everything. We got a screener called Mermaids.
Mermaid's Song.
Mermaid's Song, sorry. I have Mermaids in my head. We've got The Fly by David Cronenberg, which is absolutely très magnifique. And the latest Purge movie, which is also
the first
absolutely
Purge, brilliant.
The first Purge blew my mind balls off. Absolutely, we won't get into that yet. Anything else you wanted to do?
No, I hadn't really seen any, but I hadn't really gone looking. So busy with prepping for next week's show that I kind of neglected to check screeners and stuff for this week.
Yeah, I appreciate when you decide to put in time before a show. It's just...
I know, and it only occurred to me right this second, and I'm sorry.
Apologies to the audio coming through the phone here. There's a weird thing where Facebook doesn't like to tell me messages that are coming in, so I have to do it through the phone. Donald Zelinsky, hello. Byrne, she's in the studio, hello. Charlene, she's in the studio, hello. And it's Donald Zelinsky again. Hello. And I clicked hello as well.
And Katie.
And Katie McNeil. And Pam, who's also in the studio.
Hello.
That's weird. I said hello here, but it sent it as me and the GoreCast. That's odd. Huh.
Did you accidentally hit a speaker thingy?
No. That's the we're live. It's letting people know we're live. Just in case I didn't know we're live. Okay. I do know we're live. Just to clarify. Was there any cool horror news I saw in the week? If you didn't know, Robert Englund retired from being Freddy Krueger 4 or 5 years ago. As in, he was no longer to don it. But on several occasions over those last 4 or 5 years, he's thrown the old costume on. One now, in the man's defence, was for charity, and it was at one of the cons, and you got to meet Freddy Krueger, so he was in full character and the whole 9 yards. And this latest endeavour for Mr. Krueger is on some TV show that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. He's guest appearing for their Halloween episode. So Freddy Krueger's appearing, so it will be Robert Englund in the costume as Freddy Krueger.
Cool.
So
it's not that Always Sunny in Philadelphia, is it? Because you were
no, it's not.
They were really excited about that one because it looked like because of the thingy, and it seems their Halloween episode is going to be a parody of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it seems that they're heavily. It seems that they're heavily sitting on that because the new poster for Always Sunny is very Friday the 13th. It's even called Sunny the 13th, and it's just the guys running away from a very familiar looking cabin. In the woods near a lake, strangely enough. So, I don't know what movie they're trying to don a hat at.
Oh, I wonder. I really do wonder. Wonder what that could be.
Sleepaway Camp. Probably turns out Dee's got a dick. Fucking bird. Anyway. If anyone's an Always Sunny fan, you'll know what I'm doing. I'm not actually slagging the youngest Olsen.
Olsen?
She's an Olsen.
As in Olsen twins.
but she's not a twin. There's
Oh.
the Olsen twins,
Yeah.
and then there's young Olsen. That's.
How old are the Olsen twins now?
I know. I wondered that because I was like, I was older than them. I feel old now because I was younger than them when I was watching. Or sorry, I wasn't younger than them. I was older than them when I was watching Full House. So, yeah, I feel old now.
How do you think I feel?
I feel old now. Although, strangely enough, I do think age has treated you and I slightly more gracefully than the Olsen twins.
I haven't seen them lately, but I'll take it
Oh,
first.
big time.
One of them's okay. One of them was a bit rough, to be honest. No offense, whichever Olsen it is, to be honest, because I can't actually remember. At one stage, you were identical, and I couldn't tell you apart. Now I just lost track of which one's the skinny one and which one's the really skinny one.
Oh, I don't sound good.
Is this good a time for me to take a coffee break? Is it?
I suppose
This is the hard-ons and Jamie Lee Curtis thing all over again. Christ.
yeah, I was going to say that I think for me, possibly the next big screen horror movie-ish that I'm really looking forward to is probably more of a comic book movie, but I'm excited because it's going to be horror and it better be fucking horror.
Hellboy?
No, the next one's be coming out. Venom.
Oh, it looks. The more I see of it, the more I want it in my life. I also, before we start getting into reviews and stuff, do you remember I said there was a guy, you will be getting your signed photo. They're a thing now, by the way, anyone out there, if you want a signed photo, mail the GoreCast and we'll send you a signed. Hadn't crossed my mind before until someone asked. So, anyway, Sao Fang, because he mailed me in relation to our Halloween H40, or Halloween Judgment Day, I believe was what the episode was called. He mailed me in relation to that, and we had a really, really, really good in-depth conversation about our reservations about the movie, shall we say, and it was really enjoyable. So, shout out to him.
Cool.
I like when someone engages us with the stuff we're doing. He also said at one stage there was a load of kids singing a fucking song out near his front garden on repeat, and he wished he'd had you there so he could have put you out the front garden. We're like, hey, get out of my garden! And I was like, he's actually really good at that. So there's a new thing we can do. That's what the audience outside of the studio needed to hear. Pam, thanks.
I didn't even hear it.
Okay, never mind. No one heard it. Yeah, so Freddy Krueger news out of the way. Venom's coming out soon, which is going to be delicious.
I've seen the first trailer. That's all I'm going to watch.
Yeah,
But
I know your very stringent rules on.
Relax. What I was going to say was, because I know stuff, I'm very hopeful of how it's going to. What?
What was that?
The sound of my shoulder cracking?
Oh, I thought that was like, this is how I let people know I know stuff.
No, that was the sound of my shoulder cracking as my hand moved.
Okay, because all I saw was because I know stuff.
And you heard the cracking sound? Anyway.
That was all part of the thing.
No,
be honest.
I'm expecting a proper, full-on, like, horrific, terrifying, people getting their brains eaten film. Oh, and then Carnage is going to be in it, apparently. Oh, what is wrong? You look like you've lost something important.
I wouldn't say well, no, it's actually pretty important. I felt like today was a smoke machine day.
I know what you're looking for.
I felt today was a smoke machine day, and us talking about Venoms is good.
Sure, why not?
We're rolling in. October's nearly here, people. You need to set the atmosphere.
Well, all the Halloween stuff is out, which means that we get to decorate our houses for the year at last.
Or as myself and Giz like to call it, cheap set decoration season.
Well, there's that too. House set.
See, she's misty, and it's nice. So it sets the tone.
I'm not.
It sets the tone. People should appreciate this.
Okay.
Put it in.
Speaking of which, shall we start rolling into our first one?
We will. We'll start rolling in. Okay, so first movie up, I figure, because the Fly ties in with what we're doing on American Horrors, we'll fill you all in a little more. So that's going to be the last movie we do, and I just want to splurge on the Purge a little bit. So I said we'd do the screener first, maybe?
Yeah. Mermaid's Song is set in 1930s Oklahoma, the Dust Bowl, the middle of the Depression, and to be perfectly honest, does a fantastic job of illustrating exactly what lengths people will do to try and survive. what lengths people went to try and survive something that afflicted America so harshly that families had to move across country in desperate bids at times to just survive. There's a great scene in the film where a family is actually driving across country, and the crux of the movie is set at like a gas station kind of eatery place where there has been a family song and dance show been going for several years, where Serena and her daughters will put on a show for people travelling through.
Yeah.
George, the husband, holds the bar.
A nice homely show.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
Because things do change.
Yeah, it's very much like a family kind of, it's like a way station. You're travelling across
For anyone who isn't Irish, or for anyone who's Irish, it's like the chorus. They were like the chorus, except one of them owned a bar and put the rest of the chorus to work singing and dancing in that bar.
To a degree.
Opposed to been like, I got 2 hot daughters and the other one. Sorry, not the other daughter, the other lad. Do you remember that? Do you remember that was a whole joke? That everyone knew there was Andrea Core and there was the other sister, and then there was your man. What's his name? Mr. Core.
No one knew about him, actually.
No one knew.
Yeah.
He was just there. He
In the background.
At one stage, people thought he was just like, the filler guitarist guy, and it's just like, no, he's in the family. He's been there literally since the start of the band. It's just that we put the 2 hot ones up front. Jim! That's his name! Jim Core!
I remember.
Boom, boom! Nice. Sorry. Shout out. Shout out to the chorus. I can't even remember a song.
I know my mother listened to them a lot, but yeah.
I think everybody's mother listened to them a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the film.
Back to the film. Sorry,
Okay.
I got distracted. Roddy P, what's up? Darren McKenna, what's up?
Hello!
There we go.
As I said, George and Serena basically run this family song and dance routine for people travelling across country. There's a bit of a there's a petrol pump set up.
Yeah.
It's a
Slash
rest
booze
stop.
emporium.
No, it would have been Prohibition.
Oh yeah, well, it is a bar, but with no booze in it.
Oh yeah, it's like water and other such.
Such.
Unfortunately, when Serena dies, this kind of puts the family in a bit of trouble because they don't have their main draw, which is Serena, because people just love hearing her sing.
Strange that.
Funny thing that.
Yeah.
This leads to local gangster Randall arriving on and basically offering George a lump of money, willing to invest in the place as long as George is willing to change the atmosphere.
Randall
somewhat.
being the invisible guy from Misfits and
Bastard of Bolton in Game
Game
of Thrones.
What's his name?
Iwan Rheon.
Iwan Rheon, thank you. I can never pronounce his first name.
Iwan, so I'm assuming it's...
I won't lie to you. As I was writing it in the article, I was like, Iwan.
I would imagine it's Iwan.
Good old Iwan Owen.
I might be mispronouncing as well, but making a stab at it.
No, I won't lie to you. It sounds quite right. It could be, though, that my plateau of comparison is Iwan. So, anyway, he's brilliant in this.
He is fantastic in
But
this.
he's very good, and as much as we curse on the show, it's a word I don't use too much on the show, but I do quite a lot in real life, and I'm going to let you into a treat of one of my favourite words right now. He's great at being a bad cunt. He's so good at being an evil cunt.
There's a scene where he's having a conversation with George, and George has crossed him a little bit, and I managed to predict exactly what was going to happen from the second he stuck out his hand for the handshake. I was just like, I know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Standard gangster protocol.
Yeah, and what's best is, he's polite about it.
You see, this is why I like him, because he's not just a total bad cunt. He's a very polite, very likeable, nasty bastard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's even willing to be fair with George. And then he realises that George is skimming because at one point Randall tells him that the debt is cleared and George decides, oh really?
Yeah.
But all of this is inconsequential.
As this is only
background.
out since the 18th. 18th? Yeah. Remember serves me correctly. We are not going to be getting too willy-nilly. But I will say, George, as much of a loving father as he is a fucking asshole.
Once again, this just goes to show the lengths to which people went to. As I was saying earlier, there's...
The logic behind the decisions didn't elude me.
Yeah.
It's just pretty out there.
The reason that we're going into all this is because Mermaid's Song is less a horror movie in the traditional sense and more a really insightful, well-written and very, very watchable tale about a family suffering through the tragedies that was the 1930s Depression. Oh, and the little girl's a mermaid, by the way.
We're not going to ruin anything. Although the name kind of ruins it. So, well,
The trailer.
yeah, the trailer
Says-
ruins it as well.
And
And the little girl's a mermaid, by the way.
but it is quite the fantastic. The creature effects when stuff
Reminds me
does
of my
happen.
medical analysis, the way you just dropped it in at the end.
Oh, by the way,
Body
you're
mass
dying.
is good, body reactions are good. Man is a bag of spoilers, but anyway, moving on. He's able to lift lots of heavy shit, which is amazing. That's good, yeah, but mostly man is a bag of spoilers.
Yeah.
So,
It turns out that there is a reason for this. There is a fantastic working of mythology based on Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid, whereby we can see characters represented throughout this film that can be compared to the original characters of. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I ain't never read Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid.
I've never even watched The Little Mermaid.
Anyway,
These can go F itself, sorry.
at the very least, one can compare characters to that.
Excuse
You
me.
have Ariel. You've got kind of like an Ursula character.
Just until the sneezing stops, I'm
Okay.
going to do this.
Fair enough. You have Ariel, you have the Ursula character. You have George in his own way representing. I can't remember what the Prince douchebag's name is supposed to be. Randall is the interesting mix because he's an outside force, but once again, the fact that it's just this really well written story of struggle that uses the background of that uses the fantasy to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Catalyze events, because there is more going on in the background that you find out over the course of the story. It does tie into the mythology. It does tie into
Ah, God.
why
Sorry.
the family is in this situation, and
Excuse me.
when my co-host returns, I'm sure we'll be able to talk about cinematography, creature effects, and the other cool stuff that's prevalent. The soundtrack is great.
Trailer. Trailer.
I'd just like to point out the smoke was his shagging idea.
It's not the smoke. It was happening before the smoke. Sorry, I said that way angry. I'm kind of half blind. We're going to do a trailer, and my allergies will be under control when I come back. I'm very sorry.
Let me tell you a story about a mermaid.
There are people in this world that wish to do you harm. I'm trying to protect you.
The bargain made was that the daughter of a true love would replace the mermaid when the time was right.
Maybe it's time we pay the debt.
It's time for the child's return.
Got distracted. Okay, we're
by
back.
sneezing.
Yeah, it should be okay. Give or take. High points and low points before we get any more into the plot, because we're not going to.
Honestly, for me, the only thing was I think I was expecting it to be a little bit more in-your-face horrific based on the poster that was released
Yeah.
and the tone of the trailer. But apart from that, like I said, and
No,
will
I was
continue to
not.
say,
Yeah, I would.
damn good fucking story.
Yeah, the story was great.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed because it had the whole "The Little Mermaid Goes Horror" tagline, which made me jump for joy because I was like, finally a version of The Little Mermaid I'll watch. Although this is a version
Yeah.
of The Little Mermaid I'll watch,
To be
to be honest.
perfectly honest, yeah, it does a fantastic job of melding in elements
Yeah.
of the original story.
Iwan is brilliant in it.
Yeah,
The father is much of a fucking sleazy, belly sliding fuckface
once he gets to that
nerd.
stage, at the beginning of the film, he is
A
the
loving father
idyllic,
and
typical loving
husband.
father. Yeah,
Well, you can tell that the loss of Serena
yeah.
sends him over the edge a bit, and then there's the horrible granny. What? Which one? Hello, American Meg. Or sorry, hello, Megan.
But yeah, even the grandmother character, the somewhat.
She's great. She's got that creepy drag me to hell old bitch vibe off her.
And yet at the same time, her motivations are completely, from a certain point of view, pure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, she only looks like an evil
Yeah.
bitch, but she's probably one of the more morally straight people in the whole thing.
From her standing, at least, yeah.
And technically, Iwan's standing as well to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I will
he
say
really does steal the fucking show, man.
To be honest, man, he steals the show. Like, even I found him in Misfits, even though he was a very
Introverted character.
introverted and understated character, that he was fucking fascinating.
Second
Especially
season
when
3.
Oh yeah, we're Ninja him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so good. It's so god. So
I
good.
watched Misfits up until the Irish guy left.
He was great. Then they replaced him with the other Irish guy.
I didn't bother.
He-
I lost interest. I'm not gonna lie.
You could tell where the makings of Cassidy were in his performance in Misfits.
Yeah. But anyway, in Mermaid's Song, Rheon does a fantastic job of just, like I said, he's this really likable bad guy. You know?
Charmingly dastardly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Was that something someone wrote or something I said before?
No, I just said it.
Excellent.
I sometimes have original thoughts.
Mental note. I need to get a tighter handle on the monkeys. I mean, excellent. Original thoughts are fantastic.
On the monkeys? Oh yeah, that's why I didn't know Megan was in, because I hadn't.
No.
Jelly's in as well. Who else were you missing? And Max
Hello.
is in. Okay, so hello Brian, hello Megan, hello Jelly, hello Max. Is there anyone else I'm missing? No. Okay, that's cool. Okay, hold up. Okay, so I think that's us done with Mermaids Out.
As I said,
go get it.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's really good story.
Another high five to Wild Eye releasing. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, a little bit misrepresented in the horror aspect of it, I think. But apart from that, fantastic fucking story.
I'd say it more has horror elements to it than
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't
Like-
get me wrong, the creature effects, and there are deaths in it that are gruesome and fantastic to see.
Yeah,
And the overall tone
the special
of it,
effects and bits of gore that you do see, I wouldn't call it gore. The transformation's graphic enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there are bits of gore actually. All practical effects look great. Just it wasn't. It's a dark fantasy.
Yes. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It falls into. It's very much a dark fantasy,
And I think the setting,
which is how it got misconstrued as a horror.
honestly, I think the setting of the Depression era Dust Bowl helps a lot because
Oh yeah, and I love that kind of 1950s music. Anyway,
Carnival. Did you ever see that?
yes, I did.
That was
a great movie.
fucking awesome. Series.
Or sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
But the music it was really well done, and they did it smart by keeping it all surrounded around the inner workings of the bar,
Yeah.
because it kept set and location costs down significantly, and it was just very easy to just kid out a bar with some rooms in the back.
It was made for a good microcosm, to be honest.
Yeah, it was fucking. No, I really like what lack of horror it had made up for with just very, very juicy, in-depth story, and some very, very well-developed characters who grow, albeit not in a good way, for some of them throughout the course of the movie. And you get invested with everyone, to be honest. And that's what you want.
From any film, really.
That's what you want from any film, is to
Any
actually give a
story.
fuck about the people
Yeah.
you're watching on screen.
Pretty much.
Speaking of giving a fuck about the people you're watching on screen, Purge?
Purge.
First Purge, which came out June, was it?
Or
Or was it August? Or
I thought it was August.
It was June.
Sorry, this thing is slow to load up.
You continue and I'll find it. It's much better.
Released July, you were right, 4th of July 2018.
Yeah, 4th of July.
Yeah, that made perfect sense.
This is great.
Yeah, the First Purge, unsurprisingly enough, tells the story of the first purge that ever happened.
Yeah.
Whereby a governmental experiment arranged by new political party, the new founding fathers of America.
Yeah, they sound like a totally straight bunch of guys, by the way.
Oh yeah, not a bunch of, you know.
New founding fathers of America. Nothing.
Anyway,
Couldn't be out of.
they get their man in president and they decide to come up with this interesting social experiment whereby, in order to try and cut down on violent crimes, in order to try and revive faith in the economy and a bunch of other made up crap that made them think that they could sell it to people.
And mostly there's just way too many motherfuckers on the planet.
They decide that they are going to, for 12 hours, allow all crime to be legalized on the island.
If you want to kill it, kill it. If you want to rob it, rape it, whatever you want.
And to entice people to stick around, they decide to basically offer to pay this somewhat impoverished...
You don't have to purge, but if you get murdering, we'll give you $5,000.
No, it's actually, you don't have to stay on the island, but if you do, we'll give you $5,000. If you do more than that, we'll give you more money.
Yes, that's it. Sorry, yeah. And a fancy pair of contact lenses.
If you're going to be purging, put on the contact lenses so that we can record everything for scientific purposes.
As I said, load your guns, sharpen your knife or sharpen your blades, and get the closest of contact lenses you can find. It's purge time, baby.
Yep. And except it's, I was going to say, it doesn't quite go according to what people think at first.
No, it doesn't. Humanity,
as it turns out,
has more conscience than they gave people credit for, and they mostly just looked at it as an excuse to get fucked off their heads
and have big raging fucking block parties that look
big
awesome.
raging drug-induced neon-soaked block parties with fucking big titty ladies getting drilled by big black dudes on the bonnets of cars.
That wasn't at the party, that was on a random street.
I'm sure it was happening around the party. People are getting drilled everywhere.
Then there's one psychopath that has to ruin it all.
Skeletor, great name though.
He was brilliant, yeah.
I actually would like to see more of him a little bit.
The First Purge gives us a fantastic look into how this film franchise supposedly began. The events that lead up to it. It gives a fantastic insight into the political machinations that basically saw a country willingly allow itself to slaughter itself for 12 hours in order to apparently make sure that it doesn't commit random acts of violence every now and then. It's an insane notion that, for the sake of entertainment, works brilliantly. And this film just really... See, I don't want to give away too many of the cool details about it, because there's certain plot elements that are in the other Purge films that are somewhat explained in this. They're the origins of them, how it got started, the reasoning that the Purge was so successful in the first place, and more importantly, how it managed to go from being basically what amounted to a bunch of block parties to what would amount to a zombie apocalypse without the zombies for 12 hours. But, yeah, there's...
Wait, what? Wait. I was reading a message for a second. Where did the zombies come out of?
They didn't. I'm just saying that the Purge is basically a zombie apocalypse without the zombies for 12 hours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, real news. That's probably going to happen. They're doing it now.
I know.
Well, they were doing it anyway, but now they're telling people that they're doing it.
I know, which means it's already been done.
Yeah, but you're not trying to sound like an asshole. I've been fucking saying it. Go back to episode 1 and then watch all 85 episodes and whatever specials afterwards, because about 5 million times during the course of 2 years I've said zombies are going to happen. I'm ready to rock. I don't know about you. Same way, if there's a purge happening, I'm ready to rock. I don't know about you. There's certain elements of it. If you take the status quo side of it, where it's just like underprivileged people, we need to get rid of them, blah, and it's you take them at face value. That's about letting people get some of the shit off their chests. Whew.
Except that this film highlights that it's not being taken at face value, because there's all kinds of dirty, underhanded shit that's being pulled in order to make sure that this social experiment works.
Yeah, but if
But
that
the
was
people
actually
say
actually going to happen in real life, not disputing that that's probably how it would happen, but I'm going to be way less aware of what's going on in the office and just be like, woo! $5,000,
dude, you could be on the research team and you're looking going, you know what, keep the money, give me the contacts, I'm off.
Yeah.
But you're not a citizen. I don't care, I'm going in.
We've hired these mercs to go in and liven things up. Why?
I'm right here.
Why? I've got a drone with a machine gun right here. What's going on? Purgy wurgy.
He's watching.
Hello, Maeve.
Hello.
I wasn't expecting full stop there.
I wasn't expecting.
Hello, Maeve. Full stop.
What?
Full stop.
Okay.
Full stop. Continue.
The First Purge basically tells the story of Naya.
Naya and her little upstart brother.
Isaiah.
Naya and Isaiah.
There you go.
Up a tree. Not Kissing.
Naya is one of the many people protesting the purge.
Yeah.
Living on Staten Island itself. In fact, living in a housing project that is seen as basically kind of
Purge-worthy.
I was going to say the heart and soul of Staten Island. They're actually
Purge-worthy.
they're using it as a litmus test.
Yeah.
If shit kicks off here, it'll kick off everywhere else.
Yeah. Because everybody in Staten Island is like, high five.
Kind of, yeah.
Except for D and his boys.
Yeah. Dimitri is the local king of Staten Island when it comes to the drug trade and any other criminality.
If it's got chicks, he's got it. You've got guns, he's got it.
And he's basically ordered his boys that, you know what, let everyone else purge. We got our business. We're going to reel it back in. We're leave. I think they're actually they're supposed to be leaving the island or something, or they're just locking.
He's told all of these guys to just they're on lockdown.
Yeah, that's it.
He said people are going to be coming looking for shit. You guys aren't going purge, and you just sit in the fucking base camp. And if shit goes down, stop it.
Does the intelligent thing. Let the civilians have their fun. We businessmen are going to be making sure the business doesn't get fucked with. Unfortunately, a rival businessman decides he's going to try and fuck with stuff, and that kicks off a whole other escalation.
He goes by the name of A.
Capital A.
Capital A.
Oh.
Yeah. Although he gets a capital D at the end, so
yes, he does.
With a full stop.
Yeah. When Dimitri gets wind that the purge might be a little bit less on the up and up than as advertised, himself and his crew basically end up taking it upon themselves to a degree defend the upstanding civilians of Staten Island.
No, it's they see a lot of people murdering each other, and then they notice that some of these guys have certain military-esque tactics, and then upon going and investigating it a little bit more.
I wasn't going to get into all that. That's why I was saying underhanded tactics.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, okay.
What you said there a second ago was wrong, so I just had to...
Except it wasn't. They went, screw this for a tub of spin. We're gonna F this guy. We're gonna F these guys.
I heard the audio just go, it starts now.
Surprised we're not going, Major 3 Quatus on Baines. No, like this.
Yeah, okay, whatever. We'll just agree to disagree.
Disagree.
We're not disagreeing, that's wrong. Swiftly moving along, that's a better phrase. Okay.
Yay!
So anyway,
you wanted to gush over this a little bit, so proceed.
I thought this was, outside of just having the great music, which usually goes with a Purge movie, because there's just, we put a bit of techno, we put a bit of metal techno, stab, shoot, and it's really good. But I just felt it was actually a lot more storyline driven than a lot of the previous now, don't get me wrong, there were centering characters and there were storylines revolving around it, but I just felt this was actually very multiple story arcs. Reminded me of a Resident Evil game to a certain degree, where everybody had their own separate storylines going on. Then there was a nice little merger at the end.
I'll be honest.
Dee's a fucking badass.
Yes, he is.
He's a badass mofo.
Watching this actually set me off to watching the other Purge movies, and I'd seen Anarchy before. I hadn't sat down to watch the first one, and I'd seen some of Election before. And what I found interesting was that there were certain plot elements from the other films that were dropped into the first one. Yeah, in such a way that it's kind of like,
validation.
Yeah, precisely. Plus, you had
it explained why everyone decided to mask up.
Exactly.
Very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it also, what I liked about that element was it makes you think about the Purge's following, because you're like, how many of those guys in the masks are
we see
public in the masks, and how many of those guys in the masks are still some boys that were sent in to just make sure.
Which is what we see in Anarchy at the very least.
Yeah.
I
don't think I've seen Anarchy.
Your man's driving around in the armoured car. It's got...
It's alright, we're not reviewing that one. One standout scene,
sorry, I watched a lot of Purge in the last couple of days.
It's okay. One standout scene for me, and it's actually relatively low key within the overall premise of the story, but I just thought it was very well executed, was when the two hoes go to visit Dee in the office to keep him entertained during the Purge.
Yeah.
I I could smell the. I could.
Trouble.
Pardon my language, but I could smell the pussy trap as it was walking in the door, and just as he sat back in between your one's legs and she had her arms around him, I was just like, well, if this isn't a murdering waiting to happen, I don't know what is. And then it didn't disappoint, and I like when things like that happen. It was all good. I thought the whole her brother's lovable, but he makes me want to brother's lovable, but he makes me want to choke him as well, because it's just like,
you are an idiot.
You are such a tool. Number one, why didn't you stick with your friends?
Yeah.
Why didn't you stick with? Because they were a pretty gun-toting bunch of boys.
They actually knew what they were up to, and they would have looked out for him, because he clearly does not.
Oh, he didn't have to. Like, that Skeletor guy would have been stone cold fucking dead if that happened when they were there. Oh shit! Bah, 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 bah. Oh, okay. That's true. I'm glad that didn't happen, because I actually do like that Skeletor cat. He's pretty cool. I really would have. That would have,
because he is full on fucking psycho.
In the same, I have a very wide flavor palette when it comes to my psychos. Like, so for instance, if you look at Mermaid, I really thought Iwan was just. I love that civilized, anger through politeness, passive aggressive nearly.
There's nothing passive about his aggression.
No, but as in the way he goes about it, the actual aggression itself, there's no passiveness at all. Well, there is. He passes the aggression from him and does his thing. But then you have, on the flip side of it, you have Skeletor, who's just mad as a bag of fucking spiders on crack.
He is the way Cletus Cassidy should be in the Venom movie.
God, I hope so. If he's a...
And that's before he gets the symbiote.
Yeah, well, Cletus is a horrible, horrible, horrible man.
Did I tell you about the time?
No.
That'll do, pig, that'll do.
Were you going to get into Spider-Man?
He once wrote a note.
Did he, yeah?
And it was in a cop's flesh, and he wasn't above crossing out spelling mistakes.
Yeah, sure, we've all done that.
When he was done, he just turned to the cop and said, "That'll do, pig, that'll do," and sent him on his way. That was it.
That now leads me to believe that Cletus is a fan of Babe, Pig in the Woods.
Everyone,
No, Pig in the City. Not Pig in the City.
Everyone would have heard "That'll do, pig, that'll do" at that stage.
Because if he was in the woods, it would have been called Dead. Pig in the Woods.
Anyway.
That pig wasn't wood ready. He'd have been eaten by a wolf. He'd have been eaten by lunchtime. Done.
Okay then.
We do a trailer for The Purge, and then we'll come back.
Yes, anything to get us off the subject of Babe.
You're the one who brought it up.
I did not. I brought up the subject of Cletus Cassidy.
What was the last line of your Cletus Cassidy conversation?
That'll do, pig, that'll do.
Yep, and on that note, First Purge trailer. Badoosh.
Tonight allows people a release for all the hatred and violence that they keep up inside them.
This won't bring him back. It won't make you feel any better. Thank you.
It is a night that is defining our country.
Citizens, this will be a tradition we celebrate every year. Join the First Purge.
Isaiah, come say bye.
Go do your thing, sis.
Always.
I'll see you tonight.
People are now calling this controversial experiment of legalized crime the Purge.
Do not purge!
Do not purge!
You and Isaiah, just stay with me during the purge.
Oh, we're gonna be fine on our own.
We are here with Dr. May Updale. She came up with this experiment. Is the purge a political device?
It is a psychological one. If we want to save our country, we must release all our anger in one night.
Tonight, we'll see the good and evil in everyone.
This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the First Purge.
Our neighborhood is under siege from a government who doesn't give a shit about any of us.
At the siren, all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 hours.
There's a lot of good people out there who we're gonna have to protect.
All emergency services will be suspended.
We gotta be prepared for anything.
Your government thanks you for your participation.
Parties, you predicted a much higher level of participation.
Human nature does not obey the laws of politics. What the hell is going on?
They all ex-military. Something funky going down, D.
You're sending soldiers into the island disguised as citizens.
This country needs for this to work.
No one's coming to help us. After tonight, nothing will ever be the same again.
They forgot about one thing. They forgot about us.
What have I done?
Run! Stay strong now. I'm coming.
Just remember all the good the Purge does.
That's fine. And we're back. Sorry about the slight delay there. We were on a smoke break.
Crap, I may have set fire and stuff.
What? How? There's nothing in that ashtray.
I don't mean that one, I mean that one.
Okay. We weren't going to get super into detail with the First Purge, which kind of shot my gush in the nuts because some of the scenes would be fairly big. The religious scene, for instance, I don't know if I can. Do you get what I'm on about? It's not actually a religious scene, but I feel it's the loosest way. Yeah. That just, I was like, there's a level of. Usually that's.
Wasn't expecting that. But then it kind of works into...
It totally works in, and it especially worked in because of the type of religious building that it was and the specific group of dudes that went in there.
Yeah.
But usually that shit stays untouched, and it was just, although I suppose all the rules are off the table, aren't they?
It's supposed to be it. Plus, they are supposed to be a bunch of particularly nasty bastards.
Yeah. With a very unified and particular mindset. First Purge, without getting too much more into detail with it, bloody good movie. Storyline driven, great. These are all very storyline driven movies this week, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. As I said to Keith this morning, due to some strange timed phone calls, not strange time for me, strange time for me, not strange time for the boss from American Horrors. Normal time for him, fucked up time for me. I had a very odd sleeping pattern. I woke up at like 5:30 this morning, a bit cranky, and just like, it's 4:30, 5, and I was like, I got movies to watch now. So I made a coffee and I had a smoke, and put on the First Purge, and I was like a new man. A new man after I was like,
this
that was
violence
great.
has invigorated me.
This violence has invigorated me. D, not trying to condone it, but he re-instilled my faith in gangland warfare because it was like,
yeah, he's a bit of a monster.
The man is an animal in a believable animal way. Like you could tell he, outside of the military background, that kind of comes up a little bit. You could tell there was some prison time as well because there, without getting into detail, there's a fight with 2 or 3 military guys in a hallway, and that's all I'm going to tell you. But you could tell sort of the prison fighting element of it as well, where it was just like, if it moves, fucking hit it.
Well, there's other tactic that came in as well.
Oh, there was a lot of tactics. The man is a fucking animal, and a pleasure to watch it work.
Yeah.
If you've watched the GoreCast for any length of time, you know almost, how do I do this without getting you and me in trouble?
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Myself and Giz can appreciate the art form of death. And this man
is a master at it.
He is. Do you know who he reminds me of? Do you remember? Not a horror movie, but a great movie nonetheless. Do you remember Denzel Washington, Man on Fire? Quincy Jones. Christopher Walken has a line for him that he was like, some men's art is painting, and some men's art is poetry. Quincy's art is death, and he's about to paint his masterpiece. And I was like, it was just such a great line. And it actually reminded me of this guy, because it was like he went in that building on a fucking mission.
Moses through the Red Sea.
Oh, it was. And a Red Sea it was. Oh, it was great. Like, it had that, what's that military / martial arts movie where they have to go in the block?
The Raid.
The raid. It had like that raid element, you know, because it was like levels, and it was just, and of course, Naya and
Isaiah
and the couple of other people that rounded up in the posse are on the top fucking floor of the building. 14th, which is probably the top floor of the building, is it? No,
but it was high enough.
They're fucking high anyway.
It was high enough up that it actually bought them time, all things being equal.
Yeah. It's just, I enjoy this movie. Like, you ordinarily don't feel for the gangland guys, but his boys were...
It's not just that. It's because, once again, we have a character that, while they may be a criminal, at the same time they have principles that can be respected, and they have a work ethic and a way of doing things that is...
The best way I could describe it currently is going to have to be through a wrestling analogy, but is, if he was in WWE, they would be trying to tell you that he's a heel right now, contrary to the fact that everyone in the crowd is like, yes, I'm Stone Cold
Becky
Dimitri,
Lynch.
yeah, and Stone Cold Becky Lynch. For the love of fuck, WWE. Not that you probably watch this, not that you watch any of our stuff, but this is probably, out of everything that you and I do, this is probably least likely. But just put the fucking leather vest and a skull in the back on her, and
she's already wearing the leather vest.
Just roll it out. Just give her a stunner and let her do her. Jared, this is my new finisher now. Boof, bang, and then while she's flying through the air, you grab her by the arm
and disarm. To be fair, that disarmer is fucking nasty.
That disarmer is very. I'll kneel on the back of your head and the lower of your back, and then I'm going to pull
your
all
arm
of this
out of its socket,
all this way. Not unlike.
Yes,
good. Lots of arm breakers. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break here for a moment because we're moving into our last movie.
Yes.
And our last movie ties into our TV show. Pluggity plug 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 plug. So this week,
that in anymore, it'd be electric.
It is electric. This week on the GoreCast TV show on American Horrors, myself and Giz are talking all about creepy crawlies, more specifically, big ones. Which is, technically, the fly doesn't actually fully loop in there, but it's a fly, so...
It's a train.
Yeah, but it's not a fly, is it? It's a Brundle fly. But anyway, regardless, we're talking about creepy crawlies, 1950s, them, eight-legged freaks, arachnophobia.
Swarm, I think.
Swarm came up in there, Tsunami.
I remember that now.
Tsunami, yeah. We reviewed that. Or did we actually review it? Maybe we didn't.
I can't remember.
I can't remember, did we review it?
Does that.
I didn't put a trailer for it in the TV episode. So if you've never seen Tsunami, essentially think Sharknado, but instead of sharks, it's bees. But those bees are genetically altered, I want to say. I think it was genetically altered. Basically, if you get stung by them, you turn into a zombie. So it's technically zombies. And a tsunami. Tsunami?
That's just good.
Yeah, anyway, that's the basic run of that. Anyway, so American Horrors tonight at 2:30-ish GMT and 8:30 PM-ish CST and whatever the fuck that equates to across the board, everywhere else. Myself and Giz, Creepy Crawlies is a mental one, actually. Come to think of it, and here's the trailer. So take a quick trailer for that, and then we'll be back to talk about The Fly. Yep. He's got a other thing coming. Minimus Exfolius! What do you think you're doing with that? Oh, what the? Goddamn motherfucker! Turn me back right now! Do you hear me? Figure out a way to get. Ow! Ah! Fuck! Hey! Ow! Honey, I shoved the Giz! Motherfucker! Turn me back right now! You hear me? And I suppose it is kind of like Ant-Man if you think about it. And the size of a swamp pony! Anyway, regardless, join myself and the Giz this Sunday on American Horrors, where we're going to be talking about creepy crawlies, and hopefully I'll have recombobulated this motherfucker back to normal dimensions. What the hell is going on down there? There we go, and we're back. Hooah! putting matches down and loading at the same time. Okay, so make sure to go over to AmericanHorrors.com. If you don't have American Horrors on your Roku lineup already, use channel code AMHOR.
I'm not saying it anymore. I messed it up last week.
Yeah, use channel code AMHOR to add it to your Roku lineup. And if you don't happen to have Roku, you can go over to
AmericanHorrors.com. See, that one I know how to say right.
Yeah, where the lovely geniuses over there have the channel streaming for free as well. So, there you go. Very hard to miss us. We're everywhere. Everywhere. But nowhere.
Except here.
Why do I feel like one day this will become a thing? I wish I can remember what we said.
The Purge.
The Purge. I feel it actually will.
Mm.
And do you know why you should be worried? Because everyone called me crazy when I said about the zombies thing, but zombies are happening now. So, or what they might actually do, and I'm just going to play devil's advocate, if they really wanted to do a culling, is genetically modify the zombies so they can actually kill the zombies, and then you just do zombie outbreak, and then genetic button.
That's never going to work.
Oh, I know.
Unlife finds a way.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, this is what's going to happen. I'm not disputing that it's not going to work. But that's never stopped any government before.
This is true.
Anyway, speaking of crazy experiments,
just before
segue!
Before we move on, Alfie, you are not late because we're still on, therefore, haha! Alfie Frog, am I late?
Oh yeah, I know. But technically you were. Because you missed 2 movies. But you're not late.
Because we're still here.
Because we're still here.
Thank
you. But you are late.
Anyway.
Sorry, Alfie. But welcome. Nearly hit you in the face there. Sorry.
I know you did.
David Cronenberg's The Fly, 1986.
The film that turned a name into an adjective.
And the film that this morning turned my frown upside down.
Didn't turn it inside out?
No, it didn't actually turn it inside out, believe it or not, because I didn't get in the teleportation splicing machine.
Yeah. 1986 saw cinema viewers introduced to one of the most visually shocking films that had ever come about, when David Cronenberg decided to direct and help with the script on his version of the 1950s film The Fly.
Do you want to know how visually disturbing the movie was?
What?
I was reminded of this by Kieran Green on Instagram when I posted that we were going to be doing The Fly earlier. On RTE, when it premiered the first time, 9:30 after the news, it came with a disclaimer that if you've just eaten your dinner, don't watch the movie.
I actually think I remember that.
Yeah, because you'll Brundle fly your dinner all over the place. Because it is gross.
Yeah,
it's gross.
I'm not going to lie. I had seen The Fly in various parts over the various years. You know, I'd seen the start of it here, middle of it there. So overall, I'd seen the film. But I think today was the first time that I'd sat down and actually sat down to watch it.
So what you're saying is today is the first time you've seen the film?
The full way through. I'd seen the film over the course of time.
Yeah, but that doesn't... You can't see a film like that. You need to see the film. Just... You saw
anyway,
the film
my point was going to be that I decided to do it before having breakfast, just in case. I wasn't sure exactly how...
I've got a stomach of cast iron, so I was actually eating
as it
cereal.
turns out, I didn't have anything to worry about. But, you know, at the time I was kind of like, you know what, I remember the warnings, I remember people going on about stuff. Maybe I'm missing...
We've all been there. We've all had to digest our food by puking on it once or twice.
I have managed to avoid that little pitfall, strangely enough. Yeah.
Evolution, buddy.
Yeah. But anyway, as I said, for those that haven't seen it, The Fly is, for all intents and purposes, a remake of an old 1950s sci-fi classic.
Wait, before we get further into it. There, now, if you haven't seen The Fly, you know. We're going to be telling you about it. They're supposed to be getting nipped off at the... Maybe we shouldn't tell them anymore. Okay, cool. Not with The Fly. You've had...
Anyway, originally conceived as a remake of the 1950s sci-fi classic, the original script itself followed along somewhat similar lines to the original movie,
Yeah.
with the major difference being that rather than coming out of the machine already being the fly-headed monster,
There was a metamorphose.
Yeah, this film relied heavily on a slow progression over time.
Yeah.
This script would go through a number of rewrites before Cronenberg would be brought in, not only to direct, but also to rewrite the script.
Polish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to a degree, yeah. Based on the work of the original author, Pogue, when he was approached to do, I think, like the second or third rewrite.
Yeah.
But the result was a departure from the original stuff, but still keeping in many of the plot elements, most notably the slow, gradual transformation into the eventual fly-like creature that we see at the end of the film. In this case, the story revolves around Seth Brundle, who is a brilliant but eccentric, crazy, introverted, whatever.
Charmingly eccentric.
He's Jeff Goldblum as a scientist.
Wait, do the Goldblum pose. Oh no, I don't need that. I kind of also need a couch to do it. I'll put my leg on you.
What the frack?
Move your leg!
Fuck's sake! Dude!
It's a pose.
Apparently it is.
It's the thing. Someone has that tattooed on them.
Okay then.
True story.
Seth quickly meets Veronica, who played by Gina Davis, at basically what amounts to a nerd convention, where prominent scientists have gotten together to discuss their...
It's called a scientific symposium.
You're right, I apologise. A nerd convention has comic books.
Dork convention, if you're going to be...
Computers are geeks, so yeah, okay. Science nerd.
Chemistry dork!
Yeah, that's just, lack of thinking.
Nerd.
So that's okay. Point is, a bunch of really smart people got together to talk about some really cool shit that they're working on, and Seth thinks he's the smartest, coolest motherfucker among them.
Yeah.
In his own...
First 10 minutes of this, my diction level went up by 15%.
Yeah. In his own interesting, introverted way, because like Veronica is hot and he's like, I want her attention the whole time. I think one of the best lines is he's saying how he's created something that's going to change the world. She's like, well, all these guys have done something to create the world.
Yeah, but
they're lying.
Yeah.
I'm not. Come back with me to my apartment.
He's got that eccentric confidence. Validated, granted, because he's teleporting shit.
Yeah, because it turns out he actually...
teleporting shit! That might be
apparently warranted smoke. But yeah,
it
so...
totally warranted smoke.
He manages to coerce Veronica back to his apartment where he shows off his pods.
His 2 pods. He goes back to the apartment and shows Gina Davis his 2 pods.
And then proves that they are, in fact, a teleportation device when he asks her for an item of clothing or jewellery or something that is uniquely hers, and she...
very seductively takes off her stocking.
Yeah, I actually thought we were going to see knickers.
I thought it was going to be knickers as well because I hadn't seen the movie in a while, but I won't lie to you, I was happy with the stocking.
It was very well done.
It was very well done. As essentially taking off a sock goes, Gina Davis knows how to take off a good sock.
Which Brundle then proceeds to teleport in the machine, and at first she thinks it's like a hologram. It's like, no, it's real. So she...
Is it a hologram? Which would have been equally impressive because it would mean that Brundle needs to be psychic to have programmed in a hologram of the stocking of the woman that he didn't know he was going to bring back. But he did because he's psychic.
Anyway, Veronica tells him that she's going to run with this story in her magazine.
Yeah.
Which Brundle, when
no,
nowhere, all of a sudden realizes, oh shit, you're a reporter. I shouldn't have told you any of this crap. Please.
I also don't know how he didn't know she was a reporter because he literally approached her in a reporter capacity. You're looking for a story. I'll give you a story. So, which leads me, actually, now that I think about it, that means that nerd Goldblum was actually just bringing her back to Trent Flower. That's what the coffee was all about. He can make cappuccino with a proper cappuccino maker.
Oh, dude, it's a hot chick at a science convention. She clearly realizes, correctly so, that smart is sexy. Yeah. And so, therefore, decides to try and capitalize it. It worked
ironically
for
enough,
Einstein. It worked very well for Einstein, that womanized bastard.
It did. And it's not the only Einstein nod he has. He has many suits of the same suit. Because it means... Which it does actually make sense that I don't need to waste time thinking about it.
Now that I think about it, Seth Brundle really is Einstein-esque in his eccentricity.
Oh, like it's mirrored, virtually.
Jesus, it's probably a good thing that he did burn his unified field theory nuts. The gods only know what we would have done with them.
I would be in fucking space by now.
We already are.
I'm worried we would have
blown up space.
Huh.
Subatomic explosions happening left, right, and centre.
Nothing. Nothing. It'd be like that episode of The Simpsons show where Bart ends up, or Homer just ends up in the fucking white room, just like, what the fuck?
Anyway, Brundle manages to convince Veronica not to go with the story, mainly because when Veronica goes to her dickhead ex-boyfriend publisher, I mean, Jesus H, tap dancing Christ, how does this motherfucker not get the law called on him the second he turns up in the woman's fracking shower?
Oh, her super stalker ex-boyfriend / editor?
Yeah!
Yeah, his boundaries are a myth to that man.
She demands the key
I was just feeling a bit grotty.
Demands the key to the apartment
That's
back.
great, mate. I don't give a fuck. Get out of my apartment.
Demands the key to the apartment back. No, I'll hang on to it for old time's sake. What the fuck?
Theft. That's what that is. You're looking for your property back and he's not giving it to you. I'm going to hold on to it for old time's sake.
Or said he's basically just told her he plans on coming in and raping her.
Yeah. He tells her he's going to... he throws... I'm going to say consensual rape because he goes about it in a very sleazy, rapey-esque manner, but he's waiting for a yes. But he throws the dick on the table quite a few times during the movie. To be honest, it would be not literally throws the dick on the table, but the offer of dick is on the table relatively constantly throughout. Actually, Gina Davis has a lot of dick offered to her throughout the movie.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, there's two main dicks in the movie, and both main dicks are trying to plough Gina Davis.
One of them succeeds.
Both of them have succeeded.
One of them in the past, one of them currently.
Yeah, okay. One on film and one not, but regardless.
I was waiting for that logic loop to catch up to him there.
What idea, all that ploughing Gina Davis thing sidetracked me from where I was going with this.
Anyway, Veronica, once Seth realizes that the editor laughed in Veronica's face because he thinks that, basically Seth is a fucking
he's like, fuck
nightclub magician. Seth is like, really excellent, fantastic, you're not going to be running the story. Veronica's like, well, I can always go to this magazine. No. How about exclusive book deals? You follow my story, you recount everything.
Have you thought about videotaping things instead of writing stuff down and then writing stuff down afterwards in a large exclusive book-like capacity?
Which Veronica goes, yeah, okay, fuck it, why not?
Fuck yeah. And then he brings Veronica back and he shows her exactly the issue with the teleportation device, which is stockings are fine, things with guts are not.
Inanimate objects work, but living material tends to be somewhat inside-outified.
Hashtag remember Baboon 52.
I think it had a name.
No.
Yes, Katie, Gina Davis, Heart's face.
It didn't have a name, you just find out that the other baboon that survives is his brother.
And to be fair, Seth does apologise for, inside outing.
I'm not calling him...
there has to be an actual word for that.
I'm not...
It's not flaying. Sorry, proceed. I'm just trying to go through
I'm not actually making it out like he's an animal. He was actually quite gutted, pardon the pun, at the sight of the inside-out baboon.
But anyway, Seth realises... He explains to Veronica that while he might have built the machine, he doesn't know exactly how it works because a lot of the parts he basically subcontracted. He wants someone to build him this device over here, this device over here, this device over here.
I'm not actually that smart. There's men much smarter than me. I ask for a nuclear this and a...
And then I know how to put them all together in such a way that I make this happen. But I can't make it happen with living things without making them go... So I need to work on that little thing. So after tapping Gina Davis, because she decides...
No. You have to... There's a very cutesy line where she says that he's... I'm going to take a side note for a moment, sidebar. I don't ordinarily like the love story angle of shit, but I won't lie to you. I was really plugging for the two of them. Huh. They had a nice...
I was going to say, after Gina Davis basically tells him how cute he is and
how cute he is and how grannies pinch the flesh and how flesh can drive you crazy, and all of a sudden, this is why I wanted to get more into that, because all of a sudden, titties are the catalyst, where he's like, it's like me with my epiphany shits. He had an epiphany fuck, then she said one line, and then he was like, skin! That's what the computer doesn't know what the fuck skin is! I know how to put all the stuff in the bag back from there over to there. I just don't know how to make the bag to put it in. I need to teach the computer how to make the bag.
Of skin.
The big human meat bag. Baboon meat bag, technically. For this.
So
also, the loving romance of Gina, it's an interesting story arc, because if it wasn't for the fact that he decided to try and coerce Gina Davis back to copulate through science, he never would have ended up in the position he was in.
Many positions.
Yes. Well, there was. I have to say, as much as I did like their story, that kind of it wasn't even a sex scene really, but it was very awkward. It was just a little bit like I normally at least get some sort of a chub or something, and this is just. Oh.
I think they just wanted to allude to it and focus on. The
Yeah,
main points
it was a very awkward sex. It was like, do you know, if you're at a house party and you wake up and you realise there's two people on the couch opposite you doing it, and you're just like, what the fuck? I can't get up now, or it's going to seem really fucking weird. And then I think I've been watching them the whole time, and I also now can't get back to sleep because I know there's people fucking across the room. But just that's pretty much what I did with the sex scene in this, and then I went back, and then there was the flesh.
Yeah.
Line.
Anyway, Seth has his revelation shag and figures out how to program the machine so that it can transport living material. Tests it on the baboon. It works. Yay!
Fast forward several days later, and her psycho ex-boyfriend has realised that she's banging the scientist, and he doesn't take it well at all.
Yeah, completely does a full-on fucking stalker bit, even going so far as to send her...
Causing a scene in public.
Yeah!
In a clothing shop of all places, women.
How is this fucking guy not arrested?
Oh, I can tell you why. 80s. All that bullshit was totally acceptable back then to a certain degree.
Even public crap inside in the shop, because if I'm running the shop, it doesn't matter what day.
Yeah, he's obviously your husband and she's been nagging his ass about some diddly do or whatever you might call it.
Sir, I don't care what crap you got, get it out of my shop. Anyway.
I agree. I'm just saying, this is the way things fucking work to a certain degree.
He sends her a mock-up magazine cover, basically exposing what Brundle is.
All Brundle, all the time.
Yeah, basically exposing Brundle as a genius and all the rest of it as a veiled threat, saying, you know, do what I want you to do, bitch, or I'm going to fucking fuck things up for you.
And then she goes to have, she's having it off with Brundle, and then she goes to have it out. See what I did there?
Yeah.
She's having it off, then she's having it out with Mr. Sexy X. And unfortunately, this is where the intelligence of a super genius can be a downfall.
See, one of the side effects of being very, very smart sometimes is being very, very paranoid.
And over-assessing info.
So 2 + 2 sometimes equals, like, 8.
They're fucking! They're fucking!
So Seth, who we've already heard doesn't handle his booze well, decides to get drunk.
He's slopping down the champagne.
Yeah, and despite previously saying he was going to get the baboon tested, make sure it was all cool and safe before any living...
You're okay, baboon. You're okay. You're okay. She's a fucking bitch. And she's she's banging at her, man. And you're fucking here and hairy and looking fine. And fuck it.
I'm gonna
go over here, and then I'm gonna press a button, and I'm gonna go from here to over fucking there.
It's gonna be great.
It's fucking awesome.
Hi,
and the
Mr.
entire
Fly.
time, the baboon is
spotting a fly.
Fucking fly.
Which eventually which ends up in the pod.
So Brundle gets his kid off, and he ends up in pod 1.
With the fly.
Then Brundle
comes out of fly 2.
Comes out of pod 2.
Without the fly. Well, melded with the fly.
That was too long. Pod 2. Okay, just for future note, we're not going to mention the pods anymore because I feel like I'm probably going to hit the button every time they come up. And
put the button down, please.
I don't want it. Nobody's joking this one.
Anyway,
so this is why the dog's asleep.
Probably that, or he's been gassed and
This is how I get all of my victims home. Do you guys want a coffee? Cup of tea? Coffee? Cool.
I really thought you were going to smash the keyboard.
Sleepy nighttime cloud. Good times. Good times.
Anyway, getting back to the film. Brundle basically feels energized. He goes to sleep after teleporting.
Yep.
Gina Davis arrives on again, following morning...
I won't lie to you. If I woke up with Gina Davis smooching me and telling me how I was telling my terrible ex, you was a terrible man and I don't like him and I'm back with you. I thought I missed you last night. No, you didn't. It's still nighttime. I came back. Oh, I was totally wrong and now I've teleported and I can lift whatever I want. I can do fucking gymnastic shit. I can fucking lift you up in one finger, kind of. No, not literally, but he bangs her for like 45 hours straight or something. There's the... As you might have gathered by his old nerd status, he wouldn't have been really known for the backflips off of pipes in a roof.
Some nerds keep in shape.
So that's true. That actually, when I was watching it, did cross my mind because like, this is so impressive, isn't it? And then it was like, although there was never any clarification that he couldn't do any of this fucking shit before. Do you know what I mean? You see him quite topless for the end bit of the first third of the movie. And, you know, he looks like he keeps in shape. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, and he wasn't doing, like, crazy gymnastics.
I admit, the bit on the chair was fairly impressive, though.
The bit on the chair was fucking...
Very impressive.
Dope. If it wasn't for the fact that I think this chair would break, though, I can definitely pick myself up like that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to... The shoulder rotation and the strength, you wouldn't be able to hark back, get up straight.
No, I wouldn't.
And the control. It's
no. There's also, if I tried to balance myself with my leg currently the way that is, my knee would pop clean fucking out.
Well, okay, there's that, but I'm just thinking sheer upper body strength. And
this test of strength has backfired on me fantastically.
I always thought it was funny that you get guys, maybe not anymore, but once upon a time they'd be getting grief for being gymnastics and things. You know the bit with the balance beam, or not the balance beam, fucking the horse, where they're going around it. And, you know, guys like, you're sissy doing that. You kind of look and go, have you any idea what kind of fucking upper body strength it takes to actually do that? It was the same controlled, you mad bastards. You could probably pretzel you.
I remember my martial arts trainer was saying about Irish dancers before, that he was like, he was like, number one, funny story about Irish dancers, quite a lot of the male ones are boxers, and they're doing the Irish dancing to enhance their footwork.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He said you'll find a lot of the male Irish dancers, outside some of them who just like doing the Irish dancing, but a lot of it's to up their footwork game. And he said, on top of that, I don't know if you've seen how fast and hard those guys kick to propel themselves through the air, but you can call one of them a pussy if you want, and when he kicks you clean in the stomach and you go flying across the fucking room, you'll know all about it. Michael Flatley's a Golden Gloves champion.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So he can, you know, diddly, 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 diddly. Yeah, he did an action movie, sure.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he did. I think it's actually out this year.
He's like
I told Richard Lynch and everyone we'll hold a host party.
Okay.
For it.
Okay.
Oh God, excuse me. I just genuinely hope. I know it won't happen, but I would love if there was a diddly 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 dodging bullets diddly do diddly 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 do fly. Yeah. It's getting hot in the studios already. It's all that Irish dance.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it, fly. We have to do. Will we do the trailer?
Yes.
I feel we've sidetracked enough now that we'll. Okay, sorry. I apologise for sidetracking from the fly. We'll do the trailer and then we'll come back and we'll finish off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very hard to get back into the flow after the whole dilly-idle-dee-idle-dee-idle-dee-idle-dee.
I think you're making a mistake. I think you really want to talk to me.
Sorry, I have 3 other interviews to do before this party's over.
Yeah, but they're not working on something that'll change the world as we know it.
They say they are.
Yeah, but they're lying.
There is a limit, even to the imagination.
Human teleportation, molecular decimation, breakdown, and reformation is inherently purging.
Where our greatest creations meet our deepest fears.
Something went wrong, Seth. When you went through, something went wrong.
You are about to go beyond that limit.
Those weird hairs that were growing out of your back, I had them analyzed. But they were definitely not human.
If you saw how scared and angry and desperate he is.
I'm sure Typhoid Mary was a very nice person, too, when you saw her socially.
No!
You're afraid to be destroyed and recreated, aren't you?
You're changing, Seth. Everything about you is changing.
Oh, no. What's happening to me? Am I dying?
I want to know what's going on.
What does the disease want?
It wants to turn me into something else. Oh no. A fly got into the transmitter pod with me that first time when I was alone. Don't go back to it.
Could be contagious.
I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Help me. Please help me.
And we're back. Okay, so I didn't realise the time. So kind of, as anyone would know from watching The Fly, once Brundle starts feeling great and all the super strength and things like that from the splicing start to come to fruition, it's a very, very slippery slope from then on, as superpowers come with a significantly bad downside.
Yeah, the fact that you're turned into a giant freaking fly, dude!
Which I liked. I really liked the stages of this, like the little hairs coming out of when he fell asleep on the computer chip was brilliant.
It's the progression of his mutation that I think derives the most horror, the largest horror aspect of it.
Oh, yeah.
Not just because of what he's done to himself, but because of the manner in which the changes present themselves. His skin starts sloughing off.
The fingernails. The teeth. The teeth was horrible where he's eating. Oh, he was biting the end of a pencil and all of a sudden like 4 of his teeth fall out.
The ear falls off.
The general museum of Brundle was a bit of an odd...
Not to mention the fact that his mind is completely distorted once this happens. He begins to basically...
speak in the third person.
At times, yeah.
But he refers to himself as Brundlefly.
Yeah, a new creature. But even before that, you can see that his mind is shattered by what's happened, and he's fixated on, at first, what he believes to be a way to have humanity reach its peak, reach everything it can be. He believes that he's finally being himself.
Before he realizes that that the fly DNA had got spliced, that the fly genetics had got spliced with his genetics in the crossover, he had thought that the whole teleportation process
had improved,
cleanses you.
Yeah.
So it's like it takes you apart and puts you back together again, but it puts you back together again
in your
as
best
your best
possible
form. So when Gina Davis won't go into the pods and other people won't go into the pods, there is an understandable
hesitance.
There's an understandable frustration with him at the time. I don't think it's all fly in the brain. I think some of it's lack of knowledge of what's going on at the time.
Partially, but I imagine being turned into a giant fly isn't exactly good for the old synapses.
Well, he does explain that when Gina Davis comes to reveal about the bun in the oven.
Yeah.
That he's like, flies don't have emotion. They're very just killing. If you stay, I will hurt you. So, and then he goes to hurt her.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, yeah.
Kind of. There's some great Brundle fly meltiness of general everything.
Overall, The Fly does a fantastic job to basically put, like I said, the name Cronenberg and place it as an adjective, one that's synonymous with fantastic body horror, a really well-written story, and a film that will genuinely have you feeling creeped out and kind of a little bit, oh God, what did I just see? Because that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And any film that does exactly what it's supposed to do is a fucking success. So much so that, in fact, there was a sequel done, and I think there was actually a number of potential sequels that are looked at. Even Cronenberg, at one point, had a script for a potential, kind of like a parallel sequel kind of thing. I think he had going. He was very...
Parallel universe?
No, parallel storyline or something like that.
Goes in with somebody else, same timeline?
Possibly, I think, or similar events, something like that.
Okay.
But, yeah, as I said, it is going to go down in history as one of the most visually visually memorable films that a person could ever see in their life, because I don't care who you are, you're never going to forget how Brundlefly eats, or how Brundlefly deals with psychotic dickhead ex-boyfriends that walk into apartments without weapons already fucking ready.
I'll never, to this day, understand that.
I'm going to go fight this giant monster. Let's just take the time to assemble my weapon inside his...
So, gun in bits in case. Got it. Bullets in a separate bag. Got it. Obviously have not put this together a lot, so we just press the fucking instructions.
Snap and fucking bit my ass.
Brundle Sly handles psychotic ex-boyfriends with unarmed weapons the same way he handles eating food.
And what's worse is, he was waiting for that stupid bastard to put his gun together.
Oh yeah, he was.
It's kind of like, ha!
Sorry.
Sorry, wake up.
If you haven't, for the love of God, go out and get this. Buy it. I got
Depending on your constitution, you may or may not want to eat after watching it.
I bust out the Blu-ray for this, and it was delicious because there's all the special features.
Nice.
There's a great little tour through the Brundle Museum on it, actually, which is interesting. I'll show it to you before you go home, actually.
I'm good. I plan on eating when I go home.
It's just the Brundle Museum.
Okay.
The stuff's already off.
I didn't get a very good look. I'm worried that I might see organs that I'd rather not see in jars.
Be alright.
Probably.
Way worse is going to happen to you, my friend. Sorry, anyway. For myself, Johnny Deadly, I think it's the best thing to do is just round off.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen The Fly, go get it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen us in American Horrors, tonight would be a really good night to go over and catch us there.
Yes, as we talk about more creepy crawly inspired movies, and
2 hours from now ish, www.americanhorrors.com or en route with channel code AMHOR. That'll be it. Yeah. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, everyone. GoreCast out.